During the first meeting of the National Space Council, Vice President Mike Pence said NASA will return to the moon and go beyond as it looks to return the U.S. to the forefront of space exploration. NASA Administrator Robert Lightfoot said in a statement that Pence directed NASA to return humans to the moon for long-term exploration and utilization. Lightfoot added that, after returning the U.S. Space Agency to the moon, the desired goal is to have human missions to Mars and other destinations. We will once again astonish the world as we boldly go to meet our future in the skies and in the stars, Pence said during his speech. Now we find ourselves in the position where the United States has not sent an American astronaut beyond low Earth orbit in 45 years. We will return American astronauts to the moon, not only to leave behind footprints and flags, but to build the foundation we need to send Americans to Mars and beyond. The first meeting of the revived National Space Council, Pence, who called the moon a stepping stone and training ground, said it was fitting that the first meeting took place 60 years after the launch of Sputnik 1, with the Soviet Union taking an early lead in the blossoming space race. On October 4, 1957, the Soviet Union launched the first human-made object successfully sent into space, aimed to provide information on the density of the atmosphere and to test radio and orbital tracking ability. NASA said the launching of the beach ball-sized satellite changed everything and caught the world's attention and the American public off guard. Lightfoot said in his statement to Pence's speech and orders from President Donald Trump that the National Space Council sees the strategic importance of returning to the moon as a Mars-proving ground. The recommendation to the president would modify the existing national space policy to provide focus and direction to some of NASA's current activities and plans, Lightfoot said in the statement, and remove a previous guideline that NASA should undertake a human mission to an asteroid as the next human spaceflight milestone beyond low Earth orbit. Based on a number of conversations I've had with the Council, we have highlighted a number of initiatives underway in this important area, including a study of an orbital gateway or outpost that could support a sustained cadence of robotic and human missions, as well as ensuing human missions to the lunar and Mars surfaces and other destinations. In May, NASA announced it would not add astronauts to the first launch of its Space Launch System rocket and Orion space capsule despite Trump's request they do so during my first term, or, at worst, during my second term. The space agency said adding 2 astronauts was possible but that cost, time and risks were too heavy of a risk. Exploration MISSION-1, set for a hopeful unmanned launch in 2019, is the first in a broad series of exploration missions aimed at taking humans deeper into space and eventually to Mars. The mission was originally slated for November 2018, but a tornado threw a wrench into those plans when it hit the Mitchell Assembly Facility in Louisiana in February. Exploration MISSION-1 aims to fly thousands of miles beyond the moon and a 3-week journey remains in place. The mission will feature the most powerful rocket in the world and fly farther than any spacecraft built for humans has ever flown. As it stands, Exploration MISSION-2 will aim to send astronauts beyond the moon. The second mission, with astronauts aboard, is currently scheduled for August 2021. The direction builds on the hard work we have already been doing on the Space Launch System rocket and Orion spacecraft, Lightfoot said in his statement this week. Our efforts to enable our commercial partners and work with our international partners in low Earth orbit at the International Space Station, and what we have been learning from our current robotic presence at the moon and Mars. It adds further definition to the exploration plan we have been implementing and strengthens and provides a context for studies and planning efforts underway across our human spaceflight, science and technology directorates.